So there's the message. We'll talk more about that badge in a wee while, but we've got the match to concentrate on. Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. Already this afternoon on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday, we brought you West Ham 2, Arsenal 2, and what dramas that involved. And now here we are at the City Ground as we welcome listeners to the BBC's World Service as Nottingham Forest, the home team, get us underway. In the first half, they're playing from left to right towards the Bridgeford stand, and Nottingham Forest playing the ball back through Felipe to goalkeeper Keylor Navas, the former Champions League winner, now here with Nottingham Forest on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. Right-footed ball downfield from him. He's not kept a clean sheet, Keylor Navas, since Nottingham Forest last won a match, and it's a nine-match run without a win, Nottingham Forest, and that's why they are where they are in the bottom three. And it's Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes, who plays the ball across. Keylor Navas with a save, and it bounces out, and Sancho shoots, and it's blocked inside the penalty area. And Sancho now on the edge of the area, a little trick from him, but it was then cleared by the covering defender. And then on the halfway line, Awoni's touch takes it out of play for a throw on the far side. But a chance in the first minute for Manchester United and Jadon Sancho, Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, I think he has to score, to be fair. It's a good block from Felipe. It's good play between Anthony and Wan-Bissaka. And it's a good ball from Anthony to Fernandes. He drills it across Navas, it comes out. And Sancho, I don't think he hits it with conviction. I'm going to give credit to Felipe. Brilliant defending, but really there he should be lifting it. But good defending. See, I don't even think when I'm watching a replay it was going in, John. Might have been just going wide, but good defending from Felipe. He
was, 10 yards out, 12 yards out when Sancho moved onto it. And there were 2 or 3 defenders there. Keylor Navas as well. He was a little fortunate, Keylor Navas, actually, with the interception. He dived as the cross came over from Fernandes. He dived forward, pushed it back into the middle of the penalty area.
You're right, John. He always told us goalkeepers don't parry back into danger, and that's what he did. So, but good defending from Felipe.
But a let-off for Nottingham Forest, that's for sure. And Sancho, you never know, do you, in football, what a difference that might have made to him after the comments you were making earlier.
That's what I mean, it gives you confidence as a player. Then you feel like you can do everything every time you get on the ball. That goal there would have gave him confidence, so he has to keep believing and keep getting in there.
And Felipe blocked it, the experienced central defender, the Brazilian, the former Atletico Madrid man, another former Atletico Madrid man like Lodi, who I'm watching right now. And then it's played forward for Nottingham Forest, but it bounces back, and here's Dalot starting at left back. It's not totally unfamiliar for him. Bruno Fernandes thinking about a shot 25 yards, but he was quickly closed down, and then Lodi steps in and is able to take the ball away for Nottingham Forest. And now Danilo takes it on, plays it up to the halfway line where Awoni is upended, and referee Simon Hooper produces an early yellow card for Harry Maguire.
I need to see that again, because his reaction, I think Harry Maguire would know because it's a race and he's not going to beat Awoni, and you can see Awoni's clever centre forward. He's thinking, I'm not playing on Lindelof, I'm going to go and play on Harry Maguire. And he does. It is a foul. It is. Awoni tries to spin him in behind, and Harry Maguire grabs him. Watching the replay again, and he won't let go, and then he sticks his foot out. He has to be careful. That's because I knew they would identify Awoni, and that's why he's in the team, to have a go at Harry Maguire.
That was a clear foul by Maguire, and it's as easy a decision as Simon Hooper will have to make all season. You know, Manchester United might complain about that, but he's been rugby tackled over off the ball by the Manchester United captain.
Yeah, the referee it's the right decision, and now he has to be careful.
Well, that is a big worry for Manchester United now, to get a yellow card for a player in Harry Maguire's position this early in the match. The alarm bells are ringing there for Manchester United. Free kick, and an exceptionally high line being held by the Manchester United back line. As it's taken, they drop back in, and Maguire is there to head it away, and it bounces out to Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka's ball downfield. I think Sancho is in an offside position, but in any case, Wan-Bissaka has overhit it, and it is through to goalkeeper Keylor Navas. So the score, 5 Live on this Premier League Sunday. BBC Sounds, the World Service, is Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0. And we'll get another update from the 3 o'clock kickoff, the only game in the Premiership today, Leicester against Exeter, from James Burridge.
And Leicester have just taken another one, 8th try, 48 points to 12. Wonderful score from Matt Scott down the left-hand side. Early, if you've missed it on 5 Live Sport, Chris Ashton has reached his century of splashes, 100 touchdowns in the Premiership. A brilliant achievement for Ashton after 18 years playing the game. He retires at the end of the season. Leicester, though, firing here, they lead 48 points to 12.
And Harry Maguire very nearly was caught out on the edge of the penalty area. He just got his toe into the ball to clear it. And there's been, I just noticed a little bit of follow-up as well between Awani and Maguire in the penalty area as they're waiting for this throw-in to be taken, Clinton, which it is now. Long into the near post, Manchester United headed away. It's nodded back across the penalty area, and it bounces to Awani, whose shot is blocked on the edge of the penalty area, the 6-yard box, by Casemiro.
Yeah, I just watched the replay here because we've got a big screen. I think it was, John, it was Casemiro and Wan-Bissaka. I think Wan-Bissaka in the end got a good block, but it's a good opportunity. It's a good flick on. They don't deal with it, and the first one, Brennan Johnson knocks it back in. Awani really's got to put his foot through it, and yeah, they're showing it. It is good defending from Wan-Bissaka at that back post. It's a really good block from Wan-Bissaka, but Forest have started well on this front foot.
They have, and a very good flick on, actually, by Felipe, who nodded across the box. And you're right, Clinton, yeah, Wan-Bissaka it was, who was next to Casemiro, who was in the right place at the right time, rather like Felipe at the other end when he blocked Sancho's effort. What a start this is. Still 0-0, and then Felipe has to stretch to get there ahead of Sancho on the halfway line. And Nico Williams and Nottingham Forest have it back with Danilo in the central area. The ball is passed forward by Niakate. Bounces though to Manchester United and Fernandes. Pace is intense, as it very often is at the start of Premier League matches. Ericsson lifted over the top. Ball in from Fernandes. Sancho in with a chance. It's rolled right across his body. Navas came out. Sancho then back to Ericsson, and now a curling shot from Dalot on his right foot as well, but he couldn't get the bend on it, and actually it whizzed away probably 5-6 yards high and wide at the top right corner.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Let me tell you, the cross from Bruno Fernandes is out of this world. It's like under his volley kind of clearance, and he whips it into Sancho, and the ball's running away because Navas does well to come out, and he keeps it alive. Comes to Ericsson, he plays it to Dalot, and you're thinking, just whip that into the far corner. He gets under it and it goes over. Good start though, John.
And could Jadon Sancho have gone for that?
Yes, he could have.
Yeah,
I believe if you're in confident more mood, you go and you go on it, but I feel he's not confident. If he had scored that first one, he definitely would have been on the front foot.
He just checked, I think, because of the way that Navas came out.
Definitely.
And so the angle was tight, the ball was whipped, it was at pace, and in the end he just allowed it to run and then tried to play it back towards.
And I'm thinking David De Gea might have a slight problem because Butland's been sent out to go and warm up, and he is wincing.
Interesting, David De Gea, and he's certainly in discussions, isn't he? There was a signal there to the Manchester United bench. So Jack Butland has not played for Manchester United yet, on loan from one of your old clubs, of course.
Yeah.
Manchester United with it on the edge of the penalty area. Martial, now Ericsson to the right hand side, and then here's the cross from the right, and Martial was after it, but it was headed by Felipe up and over the top of his own crossbar. 4 yards out. He did well, actually, to make sure he cleared the crossbar.
It was a great ball in again from Bruno Fernandes, and Felipe, if he'd gone in, it would have been a fantastic header. He always thought to go into that far corner, but well defended up and over the bar. But brilliant from Fernandes again.
Excellent start. Still 0-0, but we could easily have had goals already. So a corner from the right hand side for Manchester United. It's out towards the penalty spot. Felipe gets there as well. He leapt a whole torso higher than anyone else there, Felipe, and was able to head it away. And now it is Brennan Johnson bringing it forward for Nottingham Forest, and Wan-Bissaka puts in the challenge. He took ball and man. It's out of play for what is given as a throw-in over on the left-hand side.
There's probably a few that can defend in one-on-one situations in the Premier League than him, isn't it, in a one-on-one situation? But I thought Brennan Johnson done him, but he's got those long legs where he always likes them recovery tackles. Good defending.
Yeah, good challenge. 2 challenges, actually. After making the first one, then had to dive in with the second, so it's out of play. Throw into Nottingham Forest. Still 0-0. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0. Wakefield 0, Lee 28 is the score, the latest score in the Super League match. Long throw then for Forest, which is headed away, nodded back into the box, then flicked on. Dalot should clear this, he does, and actually the offside flag is up, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. So early chances, early incident. Sancho for Manchester United, blocked by Felipe. Awani with his chance after the throw-in was flicked on, that was blocked by Wan-Bissaka. Yellow card for Harry Maguire, which could be significant in the match, and certainly Awani is doing his best to try and ruffle.
Well, John, look at him now. he's not once ever come on this side to play against Lindelof. He's on Harry Maguire, and that's what you do as a centre forward. When you think you've got the beat him of him, that's what you try and do.
As Felipe dives in, and actually Brennan Johnson has gone down and has stayed down. Whether he's fallen awkwardly there and he's feeling his left knee, and he stayed down. This is Nottingham Forest's top scorer, one of their big success stories this season, and with 7 matches to play after this in the Premier League.
Oh, John, you know what it is? It's a knee on knee. So Lindelof has run into him. It looks like his knee's clashed his knee.
So it could be okay.
Yeah, but he catches the instep of it. So you could easily jar your medial ligament, but that's what it looks like.
But it can just be bone on bone.
Yeah, it can be, you're right.
Can't it? So this is important for Forest. Their supporters will be watching on closely here. Likewise, Steve Cooper, just having a look. Yeah, he's involved with all of his coaches there. He's waiting for the diagnosis and the word from the medical people who are leaning over him. And Brennan Johnson, who scored actually 6 goals in the last 6 home Premier League matches. That's how important he is for them. Forest need their number 20 to get back to his feet and to be okay here. There's applause there. It's hopeful applause. He's just feeling it now as he gets to his feet. Yeah, he's walking off the field.
He'll be all right, John.
What do you reckon, Dr. Morrison?
I think he'll be all right. Dr. Morrison thinks he'll be all right. As I said, I think it was just a clash, knee on knee. The instant impact, it's like, wow, that hurt a bit, and now it's starting to wear off. He'll be fine.
Yeah, if I went into the surgery and I saw you sitting there,
you'd turn around and walk straight back out.
Absolutely not. I'd be full of confidence.
Thank you, John.
Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0, and Johnson has come back onto the field. He just trotted next to Lindelof there, and as he did so, he leant down and just had a feel of that left knee. Now he started off on another run there as well. Think he's okay? Just keep an eye on him. Dalot, right-footed from the left-back position across field, but that's chested forward over on the far side by McKenna, and it comes back centrally, back into the Forest defence, where Niakate is going to turn it back to Keylor Navas, who just gets rid of it first time. The 36-year-old veteran goalkeeper, as he now is, all in aquamarine. And then McKenna, long and forward from the Scotland international, but I think that went out of play. It did, as it went down the line. So it's a throw into Manchester United. So still in the first quarter of an hour, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0. And back to James Burridge at Leicester,
where Chris Ashton has a hat-trick, John. He scored his 101st Premiership try, and as Chris Ashton always likes to entertain, when he touched it down, he ran up into the stadium, sat down on one of the seats and clapped himself, and the crowd absolutely loved it. Chris Ashton making Premiership rugby history and clapping his own try. I'm not sure, I think I've seen everything now. Anyway, Leicester cruising here, romping at 55 points to 12, but all the headlines will be about Chris Ashton.
Yeah, you ever clap your own goals, Clinton?
Once or twice.
I thought you might. Ericsson playing the ball square to Fernandez, now up towards the edge of the penalty area. Wan-Bissaka is up there, but McKenna has forced him away. Still Manchester United in possession though, with it on that far side, and it's rolled back in field to Ericsson and then back to Dalot nearer the halfway line. Harry Maguire goes off on a run through the middle, plays it short to Bruno Fernandes, who immediately turns it back. Maguire now bringing it forward on the right hand side, and he's misplaced the pass there, straight out of play, and the crowd are going to be unforgiving to Harry Maguire here. They know that he's under pressure, they know that Awani has made life uncomfortable for him already, and that, I'm afraid, is just one of those moments again that Harry Maguire experiences on too often a basis with Manchester United.
Yeah, he does, and obviously he's a Leicester player, ex-Leicester player, so they'll give him stick round there as well. But yeah, he struggled in his first 13 or 14 minutes, and he's experienced enough to deal with it. He's the captain, he's got lead by example. Yeah,
Harry Maguire coming in for this match for Manchester United, just his 7th start in the Premier League this season. So no Martinez and no Varane. Played lots of football though, of course, these two. Maguire on the ball now, that's why you can hear the reaction from the Nottingham Forest fans. He's got no one anywhere near him, but they are going to let him know. And here it comes, back to Maguire again, who passes it back into the penalty area. De Gea, we were a little bit concerned about him early on as well, weren't we? But it seems as though he's okay. And the ball's found its way over to the right-hand side to Anthony. But in comes the challenge to put it out of play on the halfway line. So if you've been out and about on this April afternoon, you haven't heard, the big news in the title race was the score in the first Premier League commentary that we brought you today on 5 Live. West Ham 2, Arsenal 2, after Arsenal led 2-0 in the first 10 minutes. Dalot to the edge of the area for Manchester United, but Martial is sandwiched by Forest players. They clear it away. Lindelof, now it bounces to Sancho on the left-hand side in the full-back position up against Williams, then gives it back to Dalot, left corner of the box, square, Wan-Bissaka with a touch in the D, Wan-Bissaka, then a curling effort from Anthony, but it came at him very quickly there. He tried to control it, hit the shot, and he curled it across and wide and high and behind. And while we're on the subject of Anthony, you know, we were discussing him on 5 Live with Steve Crossman just before the start of the match. Remarkable thing that so far, I know he scored 7 goals for Manchester United, which is a good return. 1 assist.
Yeah, he's got to do more.
Assist.
Yeah, he has to do more. His goals have been good, but you need an assist. You're a winger. You're brought in to assist and get goals, so he has to do better on that assist department. Yeah,
and that's what we were talking about the other night when Peter Schmeichel was with us, the end product. Anthony now, though, putting in a tackle on the halfway line and conceding a free kick for the challenge on Danilo. But Anthony, it is no goal and no assist in his last 14 Premier League matches.
Yeah, he's got to do better, you're right.
That's the end product.
End product, Peter Schmeichel's spot on, and who am I to argue with Peter Schmeichel?
Free kick on the halfway line. I think that would be unwise.
Yes.
Free kick on the halfway line for Forest. Again, this very, very high line. I mean, it's almost across the middle of the half for a free kick that is going to be taken maybe 2 feet inside Forest territory, and it is delivered long and into the middle, and De Gea comes for it, gets a punch. Felipe was putting him under pressure. It comes back out centrally. Niakate has a call for goal, but unconvincingly.
Do you know what happens there, John? He gets excited, the whole crowd tell him to shoot, then he thinks he's an unbelievable footballer that can pull it in the top corner from 40 yards, and he shoots. Typical defender, I say.
But he did. It was all over his body language.
Yeah.
So 0-0 here, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0, 5 Live, and the World Service from the BBC. And if you're thinking, if you hadn't heard and you're thinking, what is the situation at the top of the table now? Well, it's a 4-point lead now for Arsenal, who've played 1 match more than Manchester City. As Anthony receives it on the edge of the box, into the area, tries to stab it back, takes the double deflection. McKenna, Fernandes with a shot, that's saved by Keylor Navas, who's quite close to him, diving down to his right, but he still had to save it. And then a foul by Martial on the edge of the penalty area results in a free kick to Nottingham Forest.
It's a great save again, and Anthony then could have squared it to Eriksen, but he has too many touches. Eventually it comes to Fernandes. His strike's fantastic. It looks like it's heading for the top corner. It's a brilliant save from Navas, and Martial puts a foul in. But every time Man United beat Forest press, they look really dangerous.
Still 0-0. Oh, Dalot has given away a needless corner at the other end. He wasn't, I mean, there was a man there with him, but he just overhit it straight behind for a corner. So corner, Nottingham Forest's first set piece chance. That was a good save at the other end, one-handed to his right, and it was travelling, the shot from Fernandes from the angle on the far side of the penalty area. So corner for Forest. Just has a feeling, doesn't it, that the first goal is going to be very important in this match, particularly when Forest are certainly not the league's highest scorers. In the Premier League this season, they've not scored more than 2 goals in any match. That's why getting the first goal is so important. It's a packed 6-yard box, and the corner is delivered towards the back post. It bounces down and is cleared away by Harry Maguire on the edge of his 6-yard box. I mean, there's 3 Manchester United men at the back post, just dropped down.
And they're checking. There's a referee saying, is it VAR going to have a look at a handball? But you're right, it did drop down. It was amongst bodies, and I think David De Gea might have got a hand to it, but they are checking. Yeah,
referee Hooper has just called a halt to things, and whether there was some grappling in there as well. Oh, well, Maguire, it lands on his arm.
Yeah.
Now, his arm is outstretched.
Yes.
And it's across the body of, who was that? Was that McKenna at the back post?
McKenna's jumping with Maguire. He tries to go with his head, and his arm is out there.
That could be a penalty.
And when you're taking this long to decide, you start worrying.
Did you actually see the Antonio handball earlier?
I did. And this was more of a handball than the Antonio one earlier, but they've said play on, check over.
Okay. So how is that not a handball?
It's difficult, isn't it? I think he
under
the rules, exactly, because he completely misses it with his head, and then his arm's sticking out. So I'm surprised.
I'm going to need somebody to explain that one.
Yeah,
to me.
we are, John. We are.
I mean, it's all in a real tussle, isn't it? As I say, I think there were 3 Manchester United players, all at close quarters. McKenna as well. They were all tussling together. Maguire misses his header, and the ball lands on his arm, which is across the body of McKenna. And it is still 0-0, and the penalty appeals have been turned down by Simon Hooper and Andy Madley, who is the principal VAR for this match.
You know what I think? Because he's in bodies, and he's obviously, unless we can't see from when we're trying to see the replay, he gets a slight touch off his head and it hits his arm, then it can't be given. But I'm still surprised, because if it hits it, John, it should have been given.
If it did come off his head onto his arm.
Yep.
Or if they felt alternatively, perhaps, I don't know.
McKenna's contact.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Here is Eriksson playing the ball diagonally across the halfway line to Bruno Fernandes. He'll be suspended for the second leg. That could be big for Manchester United on Thursday. Sancho. Felipe blocks that away, comes back to Dalot, and now Bruno Fernandes, ball right across the 6-yard box, and Navas, I think, did he slip, or whether he was slightly wrong-footed, and the ball flashed right across his body, and if anyone had been in there for Manchester United, that would have been 1-0.
And that's where Anthony should be, at the back post, looking at the back post. You've got to, because you're playing like a third centre forward, so you've got to look out that back post. Bruno Fernandes is running the show at the moment. Forest need to get someone near him. The ball in's brilliant. The reason Navas can't go is because Martial makes a good run across that near post, but Anthony has to look out the back post, John.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes, who's sort of in the role, the advanced midfield role that actually Sabitzer might have been playing had he not picked up the groin injury in the warm-up. And here is Fernandes playing the ball nicely through to Martial. Offside flag is up, and it's a free kick to Forest.
You see me doing it, John, because you know why? I was that centre forward. You don't have to go early. He don't, because he's quick enough. He'll beat him in a race near Karte, but Martial is so eager to go on and score, he goes too early. But good again, Bruno Fernandes, you're right, John, in them little areas. Surely Danilo and Freuler have to stay on him.
That's the problem with young strikers, Clinton, you see.
Yes, we just make stupid runs, don't we?
You don't learn until it's too late.
It's too late, you're right.
And they're sitting up here.
Exactly.
Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0. Entertaining match. And we're into the second half of the first half. So Manchester United with it in front of their own penalty area. Dalot plays it right across to the other fullback, Wan-Bissaka, on the right hand side, and United go all the way back to Dalot. So let's make another trip across the East Midlands to Leicester and James Burridge.
62-19 the final score here at Welford Road, John. An absolute statement from Leicester, who make it 7 wins out of 7, but the headlines belong to Chris Ashton, who has scored 101 Premiership tries. He bagged a hat-trick here today and even ran into the stands after he scored his third to celebrate with the fans. 62-19. Hopefully we'll hear from Chris later on 5 Live Sport, but an incredibly emphatic performance from the Tigers.
Yes, listen out for that. We'll hear from Mikel Arteta as well, but Nottingham Forest coming forward, and Harry Maguire had to slide in to get his foot to it ahead of Awoniyi in the penalty area, but he did, and with that steered it behind for a corner to Forest.
It's all down that channel, to be fair. He's getting caught out, Maguire, because what Awoniyi's doing, as soon as Wan-Bissaka goes forward, he's just going into that space, and it's a good ball from Lodi, but in the end he does well. It's last ditch tackle there from Harry Maguire. And
a corner from the left hand side. It's over in the Super League as well. The 3 o'clock kickoff finished. Wakefield 0, Lee 32. If you didn't hear, Chelsea won the FA Cup semi-final today, so Chelsea's women through to play Manchester United in the final. Corner for Nottingham Forest from the left-hand side. Again, Forest have packed the 6-yard box, and here's the delivery underneath the crossbar, which is headed by McKenna and somehow stays out. Yeah. Well, there were defenders in there. I'm wondering if it actually hit the post.
Yeah, you're right, John. It did hit the post. It hit the outside of the post. David De Gea has to come and help his defenders because they're crowding him, but no one's really on David De Gea. He has to come and be stronger in his punching, but unlucky from McKenna. He does hit the outside of the post.
But, you know, this is the Forest tactic for these set pieces. Crowd De Gea and just make it a busy 6-yard box. And Manchester United are uncomfortable with that. Here's Eriksson though at the other end, flashes the ball across, Navas parries it back out, towards him, almost along the dead ball line. Forest had defenders there and were able to clear it away. Manchester United pick up possession again as they attack towards the Trent end. And now Eriksson gets it back. Eriksson, then a flick from Bruno Fernandes. Martial goes down on the edge of the penalty area. Tried to win the free kick against Felipe, but Felipe just tackled him. Actually took the ball away from him and then brought it away. And it's out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line. And throwing to Forest 10 yards inside their own half. Mentioned the fact that it finished 2-2 between West Ham and Arsenal. So big story there was Bukayo Saka's missed penalty, which I believe is the first penalty that he's missed since the Euro final. Crucial moment, big moment in the title race. And then Friday night, Arsenal are at home to Southampton, and clearly there we'll be looking to win that against bottom of the table Southampton to go 7 points ahead. If they do, that would be the cushion when they meet each other in Manchester on the night of April the 26th. Celtic now need 7 points to be confirmed as champions after their 4-1 win at Kilmarnock.
I'll confirm it already. They've won it, John.
Can't confirm it.
You never know. You never know.
Here's Dalot playing it to Sancho on the left-hand side. Sancho taking on Williams. Williams, who's had a bit of criticism, I know, from the Nottingham Forest fans recently for his defending. Very good going forward, but he does well here against Sancho and blocks it out for a throw to Manchester United, almost level with the edge of the penalty area, and it's back to the halfway line here in Nottingham. This excellent sporting city. Going to park the car this afternoon. The county championship match was in its last knockings, and Nottinghamshire have won. They've beaten Somerset by 165 runs just over the road.
Yeah, where I did as well. I was going to go and have a wander and have a look at it for 5 minutes.
Yes. The security men on the gate as Martial plays it forward. Dalot on the left-hand side with the ball into the penalty area, but the covering challenge was there from Danilo, who puts it behind for a corner. The men on the gate were slightly concerned that people were trying to get in that way to watch the cricket for free. And I was giving our friend Conor McNamara a lift, and the gate man said to Conor, "Have you got a car today?" Conor said, no, I haven't got a car. I'm in the passenger seat.
Brilliant.
Corner, Bruno Fernandes on the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes to take this corner, which is swung into the edge of the 6-yard box and is headed away. Clear by McKenna, comes back to Bruno Fernandes, and the bearded Portuguese right-footed cross. Felipe went for that. That was decisive defending, headed it out of play and then sprinted after it to make sure it rolled over the line for a throw.
I will say, when I've watched Forest, he's been outstanding a few times defending, you know, John. He's impressed me. I know he's got good pedigree playing at Atletico Madrid, but he's fitted into this team really well. Yeah,
they knew what they were getting with him, didn't they? Just a couple of £1 million. He is 33, but as you say, important figure. You know, that's leadership, actually, the way that he's playing there and the way that he's played in this game. Manchester United, though, coming forward, and the cross from Anthony cleared away. Danilo was dropping back there inside the penalty area to get it away. Still 0-0 if you've just joined us on BBC Radio 5 Live in the World Service. Anthony now into the penalty area, little ball for Wan-Bissaka. He tried to turn it across, but defender was there. Niakate blocked it behind. And referee Hooper on the edge of the area says he blocked it back into Wan-Bissaka. And that was the final touch. And it is a goal kick to Forest. And as well as actually as the cricket, arriving in town last night, the ice hockey supporters were everywhere. It's the big finals weekend this weekend in Nottingham.
Did you come here last night?
I did.
You should have said, I would have invited you over for a cup of tea.
Well,
my house is always open.
Clinton.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It was a bit late for tea.
All right, no worries then, no worries. Next time you do that, you just ring me. You're invited. The door's always open for you, John.
Look forward to seeing the Morrison Mansion. Almost half an hour played, and it's 0-0. Just a little stoppage here before the free kick is taken. McKenna and Felipe, just whether one of them just got a bit of a bash or not, I'm not sure.
I think it was Felipe, you know, when he slipped. Yeah, he slipped over there,
yeah, when he was racing away after that clearance, but he's okay. They'll need him as well. And Johnson seems okay after that early worry when he clashed knees with Dalot, was it? Probably was in that position.
You're right.
It's out of play for a throw into Forest down the left-hand side. So it's another tight affair. Their 5 home Premier League wins this season Nottingham Forest, 1-0 against West Ham, 1-0 against Liverpool, 1-0 against Crystal Palace, 2-0 against Leicester, 1-0 against Leeds. And no goals yet in this one. Manchester United, who have lost 6 times away from home in the Premier League this season, including their last 2. Here the ball played back to Felipe, who is 40 yards out, plays the ball to the right-hand side to Nico Williams. Nico Williams against Sancho. Williams back in field, and then a change of feet from Danilo, who shoots, and De Gea goes down to his right. He must have known that was going wide, although he's got his fingertips to it. Yeah, it's a corner.
It's either he got his fingertips to it or it hit Eriksen on the shot. But I think you're right. I think he maybe gets fingertips to it, and he could see it's going wide, couldn't he, John? Or it deflects off Eriksen.
Oh, I think you're right, Clinton. It was Eriksen. The touch came out, which is why De Gea was trying to get there, because he knew it was going for a corner. So it is another Forest corner then. So it's a packed 6-yard box again. Same drill, waiting for the delivery in there. Manchester United have been uncomfortable with these. That's what Forest are trying to do. And the delivery again swung into onto the roof of the net. It went straight over the top from the corner taker on the far side. And it is
that is pure frustration, that is, John, because Johnson. You've caused a lot of problems
from Gibbs White,
and then you have that corner from Gibbs White, and you're still gonna want to pull it on David De Gea. So you're disappointed at centre half.
Yeah, disappointing. The other 2 were
brilliant,
were well delivered, but that one just, there was a little bit too much on it. So it's still Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0. So I'm guessing we'll hear from Mikel Arteta at half time after the 2-2 draw to hear what he's got to say about the title race. But Danilo's been lost, and now chance for Martial, a shot, and the follow-up is in from Anthony, sliding in. Defender Luddy was there as well, but Anthony got there first, and he's got his goal. There is an end product from Anthony here at the City Ground, and Manchester United score first. Trouble for Forest. 1-0 Manchester United.
Yeah, and it's all down to Forest's own doing, because I think they give the ball away. I think Martial gives it away and then wins it back. It's brilliant from Martial. And again, Bruno Fernandes, always first thought, wants to pass forward. Martial gets on the end of it. It's a good strike, but good save from Navas. And you're right, that's where you want I said it earlier, that's where Anthony has to be in them positions. And he has a tap in at the back post. But you see it here, Danilo, he loses the ball in a silly position, John. And then Martial, good strike, but yeah, brilliant centre forward play from Anthony to tap it in.
Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1. And Forest now only 1 goal, but right up against it. And good work from Martial, you know, working hard like he did the other night in the hour that he was on the field against Sevilla. And as you say, Clinton, you know, there's been a couple of times when Anthony wasn't in there where Erik ten Hag will want him to be, but this time he was. And that is his 8th goal for Manchester United. And 32 minutes played, 1-0 Manchester United lead.
John, you know what I say? I've watched him the last couple of games. He looks sharp, Martial. Looks really sharp. If they could get him staying fit, like, you know what? It could be very good for Man United, but it's just trying to get the minutes in him.
Yeah, it's the first match in the Premier League this season where Marcus Rashford has not been available for Manchester United, their 28-goal top scorer. But Martial, who's missed so much of the campaign, this is just his 19th appearance, just his 11th start, you know, has played a key role in that goal in terms of the dispossessing of Danilo, and then the ball being played through to him, the shot which was saved by Navas, saved it across the 6-yard box, and Anthony arriving to score from close range to make it 1-0. And there we are, his first contribution, his first, what do they call it, direct goal involvement.
Yeah. That's it.
in 15 Premier League matches. Here's Harry Maguire stepping out from the back. That's a real settler for Manchester United, because they were involved in a real contest here, and they've got their noses in front. And Anthony now, the goal scorer, playing the ball across the pitch, but it's behind Martial. But he comes out to the left-hand side. And yes, at half-time, we will hear from Mikel Arteta and Jared Bowen as well. So also from the man who scored the equaliser for 2-2 for West Ham. Important point for them down at the bottom of the table as well. Here's Anthony on the right, plays it infield towards Sancho, and then back to Anthony, and Sancho And Anthony once again playing it forward. Sancho makes the run, flag stays down. Nottingham Forest fans are howling for it to go up. He's being forced out by Niakate towards the corner flag on the far side. Lodi's in there as well. It's cleared partially away and then further away for Forest by Froilan. Harry Maguire under the header nearer the halfway line, and it's just headed out of play by Lodi for a throw-in to Manchester United. Yeah, it's dampened things for Nottingham Forest, and it's the Manchester United fans you can hear singing their songs, the usual excellent away following that Manchester United have here in thousands actually for the first match. As Dalot crossing from the left-hand side, it's deflected off the shins of Felipe and goes skewing away wide of the near post, high for a corner to Manchester United from the left-hand side. First time that Manchester United fans have come here for a league match this century, although of course they have been here this season in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Those 3 matches, Manchester United won them all this season, the 1 league match and the 2-leg Cup semi-final without conceding a goal. So it could be 4 out of 4 with this scoreline, 1-0. Eriksson to take this corner, in it goes, headed up and away by Niakate, comes out for Bruno Fernandes, 35 yards out, lifts it forward. Eriksson plays it in towards the edge of the edge of the penalty area. He's trying to find Lindelof, but Williams was there first. Now Williams still inside his own half, plays it downfield, and it comes off the back of Bruno Fernandes and out for a throw-in to Nottingham Forest. We have already heard from David Moyes, by the way, in case you were wondering, if you're a West Ham fan on the way back from the match. It was around about 5-10 minutes before kick-off in this one, so about 20 past 4. If you want to rewind the live radio on BBC Sounds, you'll be able to hear the West Ham manager when he spoke to us earlier. Here is McKenna out to the left-hand side. Lodi, right-footed ball from him, looking for the run of Awani, and Harry Maguire looks for Awani and holds out his arm, and Awani goes down. I mean, I don't think there was enough contact from Maguire to merit that from Awani.
I agree with you. He needs to get up. It's football at the end of the day. It's a contact sport. Listen, until we see it again, he did put his arm out, but Awani, he needs to get up. His team need him.
And Erik ten Hag makes the internationally recognised symbol of "that's pathetic" with his hand, and then actually wags his finger at Steve Cooper and his coaches. And actually, I think the wagging finger has been spotted by the Nottingham Forest bench, and Andy Reid's down there, isn't he?
He loves an argument, Reid, he does, let me tell you.
Yeah. if he saw that, more than fingers wagging.
Yeah.
And tongues might wag.
Yes.
As the ball goes back to De Gea, who clears from the ground. 1-0 Manchester United lead, and here's the man who scored the goal, Anthony, who also goes down rather easily under the challenge from Lodi, but wins the free kick for that. So it is 1-0. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1 is the score. So we will have commentary on Manchester. In fact, we've got a run of Manchester United commentaries at the moment for you on 5 Live. Thursday night, last Thursday night, this Thursday night. So Alistair Bruce Ball will be in the beautiful city of Seville in Andalusia. Nice. Have you been down there?
No.
Oh, it's lovely.
Lovely.
Yeah, Ali is making the trip there, and a brilliant stadium as well, the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan.
Yeah, I heard the stadium is magnificent.
It's a great place to watch football. So listen to that on Thursday night. We'll be in Munich on Wednesday night, in southern Germany, for the second leg of Manchester City's Champions League tie, and on Tuesday night you'll hear Stamford Bridge, the sound of Stamford Bridge, as Frank Lampard's Chelsea try to A, win, B, score a goal, and knock out Real Madrid. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that one. Yeah, that's for sure.
That'll be some win if he gets his
if he does that.
first goals and first
unbelievable,
win.
You're right.
And knocks out Carlo Ancelotti and co. Here's Eriksson playing the ball forward to the edge of the area. It's chested down by Niakate, who passes it forward to Gibbs White. Gibbs White, though, dispossessed by Eriksson. And then Eriksson finding Anthony on the right-hand side in his turquoise boots. Back to Bruno Fernandes. Then back to Anthony. Wan-Bissaka's there, but it comes back to Bruno Fernandes, who swirls another one into the penalty area. Ward Williams in two minds there. He was looking for Sancho behind him. I think he should have just concentrated on getting rid of the ball, which he did in the end for a throw. Yeah,
and it's another good ball from Bruno Fernandes. Martial, you need to get in the box. So you're going to score goals. You need to get in the box and score goals.
Lindelof, half-time approaching. Around about 5 minutes to play. We're around all of the sporting action for you up this afternoon, as Lindelof plays it across. think the cricket might have finished just in time for the football, actually. That would have been a great afternoon, wouldn't it? If you went to the cricket this morning.
Exactly, imagine that.
And then across the road to from Trent Bridge to the City Ground to watch the Premier League. Here's Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side. Back to Anthony on the edge of the box. Square towards Ericsson. Ericsson then passing it behind Sancho. Touch from Sancho, who's forced away by Williams, going one way then the other, the two of them. Sancho's pass in field is intercepted, and now Williams brings it forward for Nottingham Forest and plays it forward for Johnson, but too much on that, and Lindelof was able to come across, go to ground and put it out of play. Yeah, Eric Ten Hag for a throw to the home side, to Steve Cooper's Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, he wanted it to his feet, Brennan Johnson, so he could go one-on-one with Lindelof, but Williams overhit it.
That's what they want.
Yeah,
that's what Steve Cooper wants. You know, either Johnson on Lindelof, or as Clinton's been mentioning, Awani having a run at Harry Maguire. That's why we've got this Nottingham Forest team, isn't it?
Definitely.
Today? Here's Felipe with the ball on the edge of his own penalty area, passing it back to goalkeeper Navas, the Costa Rican. Clearance to the halfway line. Dalot challenges for it, bounces out of play off Brennan Johnson for what is the assistant gave that as a throw into Manchester United, which it is, and Dalot takes this back to Lindelof. The home supporters, a number of them, just beginning to head towards the exits, thinking of half-time refreshment, but a little subdued in the main stand, the Peter Taylor stand down in front of us here. The goal has taken the sting out of it. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Now, of course, the worry is for Nottingham Forest that Manchester United, if they're able to get 2-0 up, the fact that their scoring record is so poor really this season, you know, everyone knows what that would mean. It's out of play for a throw into Nottingham Forest halfway inside their own half that Niakate will take to Freuler, who was one of the players who's come back into the starting lineup. And then it's just a little glance from Gibbs-White, then Johnson plays it to the right-hand side. Williams now, Manchester United back in numbers though, and Williams has checked back onto his right foot to play it infield to Gibbs-White.
It's got across it.
And it's all the way back to the halfway line.
It's got across it. There are 2 or 3 people in the box.
Well, groans, you can hear them from the home supporters. And then a little shuffle forward from Freuler, comes back, ball from Danilo, it's pulled across, Awani's after it, but the defender got there, Maguire, and he was fouled by Awani, who was right behind him, shoved him over. Good defending actually, Maguire there.
Yeah, very good defending, to be fair, because Lodi just runs off the back of Wan-Bissaka and does ever so well, and you're thinking Awani's going to score, but really good defending.
So it is a goal kick for Manchester United, which De Gea is taking all the time that he can. This will do very nicely for Manchester United after the effects, the exertions of Thursday night. They can get to the break, leading here as Lindelof receives it and then plays it back to David De Gea. And De Gea just taking the ball out towards the edge of the penalty area, taps it to his right to Maguire. And then Lindelof receives it from him. It's movement up ahead, but it's a short pass. Martial actually comes all the way back, almost to within 5 yards of Lindelof, and now they move forward as Ericsson receives it on the left-hand side and crosses the halfway line. If you didn't hear, Marcel Sabitzer was ruled out just before kickoff with a groin injury, so I guess he'll be another one who's a doubt for the second leg against Sevilla. I think Manchester United will do well to get through that.
Yeah, definitely. Tough place to go as well.
Yeah, Casemiro to Ericsson, and now Bruno Fernandes has misplaced his pass. He's given it straight to Gibbs-White. It is 3 against 4, so Manchester United have got men back, and it needed a better. And there's a poor touch from Dalot, and Awani arriving on it 15 yards out, could only send his shot up and over the top right corner.
He's got to be hitting the target there, John. I don't know what Dalot's doing. It's poor defending from Dalot, and Bruno gives the ball away. They break, gives White. He's looking for runners, and you think he overhits it. Dalot, you feel, deals with it, takes a bad touch. Awani has to hit the target, John. I don't care what anyone says. At this level in the Premier League, from 7 yards out, you have to hit the target.
Just got right underneath it. He tried to wrap his foot around it, didn't he? But he got underneath it and
it doesn't have to go for power there, though, John. You practice that all the time. I saw him in the warm-up, though. His finishing wasn't great in the warm-up. He just has to side foot that into the net. Hit the target. Make David De Gea make a save.
Yeah, he put his foot right through it and underneath it, and it's soared over the crossbar. Sancho has gone down. He's taken a bang on the head, so the referee will stop play here, and we will have a stoppage in the 45th minute. So the fourth official, Graham Scott, is just getting his electronic board ready. Simon Hooper has checked with Sancho, and he's actually not going to receive treatment, even though did he take a bang on the head? Did you see the replay?
Yeah, he caught him slightly, but not to be going down like that. As I said before, it's a contact sport.
So we'll have 2 minutes of time added on now that Sancho's okay. Nottingham Forest 1-0 down. Manchester United in front through the goal from Anthony in the 32nd minute after the mistake by Danilo. Mistakes when you're in the relegation zone, when you're struggling for survival. You know, it's the same old story. Mistakes like that cost you, and it cost Nottingham Forest. Dispossessed Danilo, Martial with a shot, and after it was saved, Anthony slid it in. And here's Eriksson now, just outside the area, to Dalot, left side, then back to Eriksson. And Christian Eriksen curls it in, teases it in. Bruno Fernandes with a header, that's wide. And that must have been close to the left post.
Yeah, it's a good ball, and he's got a free header. He should be hitting the target, Bruno Fernandes. Great build-up play again from Man United. They're moving from one side to the other. Comes to Eriksson. He whips a glorious ball in, and you're waiting for the net to bulge there, but he heads it wide. Good opportunity for Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, that was very close to the left post as Bruno looked at it, as Lindelof comes out with the ball, shouts for handball. Referee Hooper has allowed it to go, and now Bruno Fernandes, right-footed ball forward. Lodi clears that, and then it bounces for Anthony off Danilo, who then tried to do one of his
He's such a good player, but just keep
footwork.
It simple. It'd frustrate the life out of me because he's such a talented player, but keep it simple.
On the right wing, just trying to put his foot on the ball, missed it, and it rolled out of play for a throw to Forest. So 2 minutes at the end of the first half are almost up. We'll round up on 5 Live all of the day's sport so far during the break. But Manchester United nearly there to lead at half-time. Anthony, and there it is. There is the half-time whistle. Steve Cooper turns away a match that they need something. The performance was good up until the point that Manchester United got their noses in front, and really that's stopped their momentum. And they've not been as convincing since Manchester United took the lead. Clinton Morrison.
No, it's been flat, to be fair, because the crowd have gone a bit quiet, but you have to give the crowd something to cheer about. You had a good chance, a good block from Wan-Bissaka, and then he's had the chance right at the end, and you're thinking, if you hit the target, you might maybe possibly score. But Man United have showed their class. Every time Man United have gone forward, they've looked like they're going to score, though, John. But Forest is still in this. It's only 1-0, so Nottingham Forest, they've got a great chance in the second half.
Yes, so half-time here at the City Ground as the last of the players begin to disappear down the tunnel. It is Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1.
But should Nottingham Forest have had a penalty, Clinton?
Yeah, I think it's a hard one. I can understand why it wasn't given, and if I was obviously a Forest person, I'd be disappointed it wasn't given, because I think Harry Maguire is making contact. The only reason why I can't think they don't get it is they might think he gets a slight touch, but I don't think he does. Or McKenna, there's contact from McKenna from behind him, because his hand is out and it does hit his arm. And I've seen a lot of penalties this weekend. Even Mikel Antonio's one earlier. I think his hand was by his side, but that was given. So if that one was given, I don't know how Harry Maguire one weren't given.
We have asked the question, so if we have any further guidance, we'll let you know. But as John was saying, there's a couple of slightly similar ones with different outcomes. Big goal for Manchester United at the end of that half, though. So it's Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1. Of course, we'll bring you second half commentary. We've got loads of reaction from the other sports stories of the day to get through. We'll also speak to Chris Sutton ahead of 6:06 08085 909 693 is the number to call. We will let you know the moment the lines are open. All of that to come after the news with Alison Hughes.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Nurses' Union, the Royal College of Nursing, says there could be rolling strikes in England until Christmas, after members voted to reject the latest pay offer. Ministers insist that what's on the table is fair and reasonable, though they haven't said it's their final offer. The RCN says it has no plans to coordinate strikes with junior doctors, but the Conservative MP, Steve Brine, who chairs the Health and Social Care Committee, is concerned.
What I fear is that we have a new spirit of activism here, where they will come together and it will bring the NHS to its knees.
Motoring groups and campaigners say all smart motorways should be scrapped after the government cancelled the creation of new ones in England because of low public confidence. The AA described them as deadly and said the hard shoulder should be returned to all motorways. The SNP denies it may be facing bankruptcy because of a drop in membership and donations. The Sunday Times says the party's treasurer told a meeting of its ruling body yesterday it had become difficult to balance the books. Ian Blackford, the former leader of the SNP's Westminster group, told BBC Radio Scotland the newspaper's report was highly selective.
Absolutely categorically, the SNP is solvent. The finances are in balance. We will be able to meet our obligations, our liabilities going forward. The party is in robust health.
The British Horse Racing Authority says it condemns what it calls the reckless protests at yesterday's Grand National. 118 people were arrested after animal rights activists delayed the start of the race. The BHA also says it will analyse the races to understand why 3 horses died during this year's 3-day event. And more details have been released about an alert that will be sent to smartphones across the UK to test a new public warning system. People will receive a message and a loud alarm on their devices at 3 p.m. next Sunday. Smartphones will vibrate for 10 seconds, even if they're on silent.
In a country like Britain, access to education is something we all take for granted. But what if that opportunity was denied? The COVID-19 pandemic and UK lockdowns that followed completely turned education on its head. 3 years on, we now know that in England alone, more than 140,000 children are out of school more often than they're in. I'm Terry White, and in my new podcast, Finding Britain's Ghost Children, I'll be examining how lockdown exposed cracks in the very system designed to protect our most vulnerable children.
Listen now on BBC Sounds.
More live Premier League football than anyone else.
5 Lives Premier League Sunday
with Steve Crossman.
And the lines are open now for 606. You can call 08085 909 693. Book your call in to speak to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. They'll be with you once we're done at the City Ground, where Nottingham Forest trail Manchester United by 1-0. I have a feeling lots of people will want to talk about this. Arsenal letting a 2-goal lead slip against West Ham. It finished 2-2. West Ham 15th in the table, 4 points clear of the bottom 3. Arsenal 4 clear of Manchester City, but of course they've played a game more. Here's Mikel Arteta.
I started incredibly well, dominated the game, dominated the pitch, scored 2 beautiful goals, and after that we made a huge mistake, which not to play, to score the 3rd and the 4th, and just to start keeping the ball and start to give sloppy balls away, allow them transition moments, don't dominate the direct play, and then it's game on. And obviously when you concede the goals that we're going to concede, the first one and the second one, and on top of that you don't score a penalty, in this league you are in big trouble.
Martin Odegaard said that you gave them hope when they were dead. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, and it's the story of the game. The penalty, of course, is a game changer in that moment, because 2 minutes later you concede a goal. But how we have to behave after 2-0 is very different to what we have to do. And on top of that, we conceded 2 very sloppy goals.
Do you think Arsenal were almost too comfortable at 2-0 up at the start of the game?
I think so. I think we felt that. Too comfortable, we can just play around them, and when a team is there, you have to take that opportunity. And we give them hope, and then credit to West Ham, because they realized that there was something to take there, and they grabbed it with both hands. They were really aggressive, they were really direct, and they cost us problems.
How crucial was the penalty miss? Because at 3-1, maybe the game would have been beyond West Ham.
Yeah, but we don't know that. But we missed it, and a player takes penalty, misses penalties, and this is the story of the game.
How do you reflect on this week? You've been 2-0 up twice, you could have had 6 points, you have 2 points instead. What are you taking from that?
2 very different games, I think, but at the end you want to find similarities there. But it is different, I think, what happened the other day and today.
This title race is going to the wire, isn't it?
It's really difficult to win in this league. Every single game, you see every result. You see yesterday in the games actually what happened, regardless of the result. It is really tricky. You really have to be at your best. All those teams are fighting for big things as well, and you have to really earn it. And 30 minutes for sure is not enough.
That's Mikel Arteta with Nick Godwin. Chris Sutton's joined us. Afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon, Steve. You okay?
Yeah, very good, thank you. That was an interesting interview, wasn't it? accepting that they were too comfortable. We could use the word complacent, could we, as well?
Well, that's your word, Steve.
That's why I was asking the question. Asking the question, Chris.
Do you know what? I'm really surprised he said that. I really am. Was today the day is the question to Arsenal fans out there, where their title dream ended. I'm really surprised he used that language, that we were too comfortable at 2-0 up. Everybody knows whoever gets the next goal, it's so important. But for Arsenal to squander in the last 2 games 2-goal leads, you have to question whether they have that mental resilience to go on and win the title now. Of course, it's still in their hands, but the way Manchester City have been in previous seasons, we know they are capable of going on big runs. But I suspect that the Arsenal players will, would have sat in the dressing room at the end of the game, and there'll be that doubt which is really kicking in, and it must filter through all the fan base as well, because they're in such a good position, but it's not like they've come from behind in the last couple of games. They have squandered 2-goal leads, and I think that could really hurt them today.
Do you think that's why he said what he said? He's sort of trying to call them out indirectly.
That's a really interesting one. If that's if that's what he's trying to do, but I'm just really surprised about his use of language there. Said many times, you can say something to players in the sanctuary of the dressing room, and you come out and say something else, but he's left himself open and the Arsenal team open to criticism by saying they're too comfortable. I mean, I'm not so sure that was the case. He knows his team inside out, but I don't think players at that level never feel too comfortable with just a 2-goal lead.
Let's hear from one of the goal scorers. Here's Jared Bowen.
Yeah, it feels like a victory. It's only 1 point, but the manner of the game and the importance of the game as well. To come from 2 goals behind, get level, and then nearly win it at the end. It's a massive confidence boost. And I think the performance, we can take a lot from the performance going into our second leg of Europe, and then another tasty fixture away at Bournemouth next week.
Obviously, your last game here, you got beaten heavily by Newcastle. When you're 2-0 down after 10 minutes against Arsenal, you've got to be thinking the worst, really.
Yeah, no, I think for the first couple of minutes, I think we pressed and won a couple of balls, and then it was just lapses of concentration in the box, and before you know it, you're 2-0 down. But I think since I've been here, and when things were going well last year, the one thing about this group is the spirit and the character, and that really digging deep when it's hard. And it was just getting the goal back today, and we got that from the penalty, and I think from that moment on, we kind of sensed it a little bit that something could be on, and come out in the second half and go toe to toe with them, really.
15th in the league after that, Chris. Is it starting, that crazy picture down the bottom, just starting to spread out a little bit now?
Well, I wouldn't bet on it, but it's a strange season, isn't it? Virtually the bottom half of the Premier League in a relegation battle. Do you know what? We've had West Ham fans on in the previous weeks calling for David Moyes' head, and I've stuck up for David Moyes. I think that performance today was really important for West Ham and him, and I do think they've got too much quality to stay up, but really important they bounce back and got that point. But no doubt this evening there'll be West Ham fans still unhappy about that performance. But I thought they played really well, and he needed that performance.
Anything else you want to get into on 606? Friday night, maybe? Do you have a good Friday night, Chris?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it was my son's birthday.
Was it? Did you miss the football then?
No,
Norwich lost 5-1.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, well, I'm glad I did have a couple of beers, actually. Yeah, Middlesbrough went. They're going well. Norwich aren't going to get in the playoffs, are they? Tell you who we do want to hear from tonight. Chelsea fans. Frank Lampard, he hasn't had the greatest start, has he? That's an understatement. Those three losses in 3 games. We've got Real Madrid on Tuesday evening. Did Todd Bowley get it wrong in terms of appointing Frank? So, we'll throw that out there. 08085 909 693, Steve.
Great stuff, Chris. Thank you very much. Chris Sutton, Robbie Savage, 606 on the way. Chelsea will face Manchester United in the Women's FA Cup final after beating Aston Villa 1-0. Here's Emma Hayes, the Chelsea boss, as her side make it 3 finals in a row.
Difficult pitch, ugly game. Took the goal when we were on top in the game. I thought we dropped off, and Villa made it a brilliant cup tie, but of course, delighted to be in the final.
What made Villa so good today, and why you worked really hard to try and get that past them?
It's their cup final. They had everything to play for. Packed crowd, record attendance, nothing to lose, everything on the line, and I thought they'd give as best as they possibly could.
So your fixture list stays pretty full now, on the way to Wembley, and for you, what is it to really keep the motivation for the players going towards that final?
You get to play in the FA Cup final at Wembley, what motivation do you need? This is what we all dream about, it's what we work hard for, and I'm delighted that we got the opportunity to defend our title.
Elsewhere, Celtic now 2 wins away from securing the Scottish Premiership title after a 4-1 win at Kilmarnock. Callum Davidson has mutually left his job as manager of St Johnstone. They've only won twice in 2023. Mark Williams is in first-round action at the World Snooker Championship in Sheffield. Jamie Broughton.
And the three-time champion is taking on Jimmy Robertson. It's been close so far. Robertson took frame 7 to go 4-3 up, but Williams back at the table with a chance to level. He's on a break of 55. Meanwhile, the 2010 winner, Neil Robertson, showed today why he's one of the hot favourites here. The Australian made a century and 2 breaks of 146 as he beat the Chinese qualifier Wu Isa by 10 frames to 3.
Jamie, thank you very much. In rugby union, Chris Ashton made history, becoming the first player to score over 100 Premiership tries as he helped his Leicester side beat Exeter 62-19. He got a hat-trick. He's retiring at the end of the season. It's all over in round 3 of the Women's Six Nations. France had a comfortable win over Scotland. It finished 55-0. Switching codes to Super League, 1 match played today. Lee Leopards beat Wakefield Trinity 32-0. Some other headlines for you. Northamptonshire beat Middlesex by 7 wickets. Surrey beat Hampshire by 9 wickets in the county championship. Essex currently need 226 to beat Lancashire. Kent trail Warwickshire by 43 runs with 2 wickets remaining. And every ball of every match in the county championship is available on the BBC Sport website. Let's go back to the City Ground. No sign of the 2 teams just yet. I can see friend of 5 Live, Andy Reid, in the tunnel, though he's beginning to lead the Forest players out. So second half commentary here on 5 Live with Clinton Morrison and John Moore.
Thank you, Steve. But what we have had is a lovely presentation, actually. I mentioned right at the start of the match, and the banners were up in the Trent end to mark the fact that this weekend is the 50th anniversary of the famous Nottingham Forest club crest with the tree on it, and a presentation to the man who designed the badge. So David Lewis is his name. He won a competition in the Nottingham Evening Post back in 1973. They had to change the badge because Nottingham Forest at the time, there's a great article in the match programme today, Forest couldn't copyright the coat of arms of the city of Nottingham because it would cost them, and therefore they would lose income because of the use of the badge. So they decided on this competition, and David Lewis modelled it on a single tree which was based on the major oak from Sherwood Forest. He won the competition. He won £25 for it. That was the first prize, which was a lot of money in 1973. And here he is now 50 years on, celebrating it. So that's great.
Quality.
Great that they've celebrated
that.
Yeah,
I love that.
And it's still going. And actually Steve Cooper in the programme says he hopes they never change it. Right, off we go for the second half. Nottingham Forest supporters trying to do their bit here, and they are needed because they're 1-0 down in a match. All of these matches now, they have to feel that they must get something from them in their position, their parlous position in the bottom 3. And I wondered whether Steve Cooper might change something, whether it needed something changing, but it's the same team that started the match. Navas in goal, a back 3 of Felipe, Niakate and McKenna, and Williams on the right, Lodi on the left, who is fit, then Freuler and Danilo, Gibbs-White, Johnson and Awani. And Awani has had 2 big chances that he wasn't able to take in the first half, could be costly, as well as the mistake from Danilo that led to the goal.
No, you're spot on, John. Like, they've had their moments, but when you don't get a lot of good moments against top teams, and when you do, you've got to be more clinical. And Awani's missed 2 good opportunities for Forest, but I think he'll leave it for the next 15-20 minutes, and then you have a go. Yeah, I think you have a go at the end and maybe change shape and throw on an extra couple of attackers.
And this Manchester United team also hit by injury, so no Rashford, still no Shaw, no return from McTominay either. Martinez out, Varane out, Garnacho's out for a little while as well. So the team that is playing today, as the ball goes back to De Gea. He's the goalkeeper. Back four of Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof and Dalot, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes and Eriksen, who came in because Sabitzer was injured in the warm-up, and then Anthony, Sancho and Martial. Forrest coming forward, ball on the right-hand side, crossed into the area, hits Dalot, bounces up. I think it hit his hand, but it was off his foot, bounced up, didn't know anything about it.
You would never get that, John.
No.
It's actually hit him, gone through his legs and hit his arm. That's never a penalty.
No, and Simon Hooper immediately waved his hands together, indicating that would not be a penalty. But you see, the Forest fans feel that they should have had a penalty in the first half when it struck the arms of Maguire, so the pressure is on. Here's Martial though. Martial, only his second start since coming back from this latest injury. Infield to Casemiro, who's caught in possession. Awani did well there, and Awani then takes the ball into his stride, receiving it back, passes it forward for Johnson, but Lindelof always the favourite to get there, and he did, and he was able to pass it back to De Gea, who clears from the ground, and Anthony is beaten in the air by McKenna, and that's the kind of thing. Listen what it's done. Listen to the reaction from the crowd to McKenna simply just winning that header against Anthony.
Yeah, that's what happens. They like the tackles in their face on the front foot, and this place will start roaring.
There it is, roaring, as Forest attack towards the Trent end in the second half, just a few yards away from the river. Great setting to this ground, so close to the river, as opposed to the ground that is closest to the coast in the UK, which is the home of Arbroath, which was Friday's fact of the day on Drive. Manchester United defending. Wan-Bissaka does come out with the ball, plays it across the edge of his own penalty area. Eriksen played it away, and now Bruno Fernandes is charged down by Niakate. I think the message has come clearly across from Steve Cooper that they need to compete for every ball here. While it's 1-0, there is hope.
There is hope. Of course there's hope. There's definitely hope. They got to keep pressing on. Go and press Maguire, go and press the likes of Lindelof and try and win the ball back higher. But look, you can hear by the atmosphere, the way they started. It was really quiet in the first half, John.
Yeah, in the latter stages. And Casemiro now. Casemiro stabs the ball across. It was a toe poke, actually. It reached Eriksen, who then turns it on to Sancho. Sancho against Williams, across the edge of the box. Bruno Fernandes, back to Sancho. The angle's tight, plays it across, took a deflection right across the 6-yard box. Anthony got there first, though. Manchester United in the white shirt, still in possession. Anthony went for some clever footwork there, which very nearly didn't come off, but he has won a corner off Lodi, so it's a corner for Manchester United. And at the end, where all of their thousands of fans are in the lower tier of the Bridgeford stand.
Yeah, it was good play from Sancho and Fernandes. That's what you want to see Sancho being more positive, John, like he was there. Good ball into the box, but there was no one there to finish it off.
Yeah, when it comes naturally for Sancho, and he doesn't have time to think about it. But it's a corner. Bruno Fernandes, well, Anthony's unmarked near the corner of the area, curls it in! Not far away from the far top corner. Keylor Navas let that go. He was more confident than I was.
Yeah, he was. He's definitely had his angles right, because it was a good short corner, and Anthony opened up his body, tried to whip it into that far corner. So, yeah, I think Navas is experienced. So we'll say he dealt with that situation really well.
Yeah, 36 years old. It's the beauty of the experience. It's always underrated by the youth. Here's Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka moving from right to left and using Dalot. So no Luke Shaw, as I mentioned. So Dalot playing at left back. She has done before. Sancho now back to Dalot inside the penalty area. Felipe comes and gets a challenge in on that, clean challenge. Bounces out. Williams is able to take possession and run it away, but then in comes the challenge, which bounces it back towards Felipe near the right corner of his box. Again, he clears it, but he was being charged down by Sancho. So Manchester United matching Nottingham Forest with in the man-on-man contest.
Yeah, and the work rate and the tempo. Out of possession, they've been good, Man United, and in possession, they've been really good. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this second half, because Forest are going to have to come out. When they come out, there'll be spaces for Man United.
As we've heard from Chris Sutton, the lines are open on 5 Live for 606, the phone in. So you can join in on 08 085 909 693. But this is 5 Live and the World Service, live from Nottingham on the BBC. And Casemiro chipping the ball to the edge of the penalty area. It's cleared away by Niakate, but Forest can't get it away. It's very congested. Nice play though. Danilo and Gibbs-White, and then Gibbs-White with a pass through to Awani. Oh, that's a poor touch from Awani. On the edge of the area, Lindelof was there, he was in two minds, wasn't he, Awani? And the touch just took it away through to De Gea.
John, you can't be in two minds there. You're one-on-one. Just go and take Lindelof on. You've spun him behind Harry Maguire. It's good football. Go take him on. You're one-on-one. It just shows me a centre-forward that's not full of confidence. Because in that, try and get your shot away. Didn't know what to do. And you are right, John. He was in two minds.
Yeah. His first start in 4 matches, Awani. Remember how he scored Forest's first goal back in the Premier League at the start of the season. Here's Williams down the right-hand side. Williams with the cross. Awani with a header right across the 6-yard box. And then they can't keep it in. And it's behind, and it's a goal kick. Another chance for Awani.
Yeah, this one's more difficult because he's going away from goal and he has to generate his own power. But it's good play from Williams down that right-hand side. He's been a lot busier in this second half. And yeah, it's a difficult header because Maguire's making close contact.
Well defended, actually, by Maguire. Put him off. Just physically, bodies close together, so Awani wasn't able to get the clean header in. Still 1-0 to Manchester United. Anthony's 8th goal of the season. And Manchester United on course for what would be 4 wins out of 4 against Nottingham Forest this season. The ball is played forward by Dalot. And now Sancho infield to Fernandes, 25 yards out. That's blocked away by Danilo, and the ball bounces out for a throw just down here to our right. Aaron Wan-Bissaka chasing after it. Hair tied up, bobbing as he does so. Gives the ball to Anthony. He's got the ball at his feet. A little flick infield with it. Bruno Fernandes passed it back some distance behind him, but Anthony was able to get there. And now it's back with Lindelof in the centre circle. Lindelof passing this through the middle. Martial is challenged, well challenged by Niakate. Now Harry Maguire's onto the ball, which is spinning at his feet, and Awani is very close, and Maguire doesn't take any risks there, just turns, taps it all the way back to De Gea on the edge of his penalty area. Manchester United with Lindelof, and then Maguire just pulls away to the right here, and Harry Maguire, 30 years old now. Not sure what the future will hold for him. What would your advice be to Harry Maguire, Clinton?
If he wants to play for England regular, he's not going to be a regular at Man United, then maybe his time is to move on.
Long ball from De Gea. A long pass from De Gea lands at the feet of Sancho in the full-back position. Then back to Martial. Martial then knocks it back to Casemiro. Square from him. Eriksen with his back to goal, 25 yards out, uses Wan-Bissaka. This is a flowing move from Manchester United. Anthony now, though. And it just slows the momentum with the ball at his feet, and then Eriksen likewise. Forrester back in position. Then it comes back to Maguire, and Maguire is going to carry it forward, and then with his left foot gives it to Eriksen, and Eriksen's low ball in to the near post. Martial after it. Felipe hacks it away, comes out to Casemiro. Casemiro's low pass to the edge of the area is cleared by McKenna, but that just gives possession back to Manchester United, who turn again and set off towards the Nottingham Forest goal with Fernandes this time. And Bruno Fernandes cutting in from the left, plays it across via a deflection, bounced off Anthony. Martial, then Wan-Bissaka's involved, change of feet from him, he goes for goal. Diving block from Lodi. Ball finds its way to Eriksen, and Eriksen's cross to the back post. Up goes Fernandes, just a little glance on the head on which took it out to the far side. It's kept in play by Sancho. Sancho low to Anthony. Manchester United are threatening a second goal here. This is continual pressure on Forest, and then in the end it just breaks down. Bruno Fernandes couldn't get there, and Felipe is trying to win a free kick, but he's unconvincing for me and for referee Hooper as well. It comes off for its corner.
Yeah, I don't know why Felipe doesn't clear his lines. It's a wrong place to go and try and play out from the back, and he's defended well today, but yeah, dangerous position here.
It is. Bruno Fernandes just placing the ball down, and so of course the aerial threat from Harry Maguire, although he's not scored for Manchester United this season. Casemiro is there as well, and the three of them jostling. Lindelof. Oh, Eriksen's free on the edge of the area. He receives it. Back to Bruno Fernandes, who drives it against the crossbar, and it bounces away out into the opposite full-back position. That was inches away from 2-0 from Bruno Fernandes' shot. Still Manchester United though, might be coming, it might be coming. Sancho into the area, Sancho turns, plays it back, Anthony, shots deflected across the face of goal and behind, and it's another corner. Clinton Morrison.
I I'm going to have to see it again, but the corner's brilliant. Bruno Fernandes just lays it into Ericsson on the edge of the box. He sets it up, and Bruno just whips it, and it looks like it's going into that far corner. And for me, it's a great save from Navas. It's a great save. I think he gets a touch on it, John. I think Navas gets a touch on it. It's a fantastic save from Navas, and really well-worked corner. But, yeah, fantastic save.
Terrific save. Watch out for that on Match of the Day 2 tonight on BBC One, or indeed on the iPlayer anytime. Corner. Bruno Fernandes takes it low again. Eriksson's unmarked and shoots, and it's deflected across the penalty area, and then Anthony lifts it back into the back post. Navas comes, gets a punch on that to the edge of the area. Eriksson heads it down. Fernandes lifts it across to the back post. Sancho was there, so was Lodi. Final touch off the Forest man, corner.
That can't keep happening. Surely you can't. You've always told, look, because Forest get everyone back in their numbers, they should have someone on the edge of the box. It's happening all the time. Can't leave good players free like Eriksson.
Well, Steve Cooper and Alan Tate are talking about it, but it's another corner, and they can't. If they keep getting caught out like that, the second goal will come. But it's from the right, this one, so Eriksson's ready to take it, and Eriksson does deliver it into the 6-yard box. Niakate heads that away, and then Johnson takes it down, but Anthony puts in the challenge and wins it back for Manchester United, and then he takes on Gibbs White, and Anthony shoots narrowly wide of the foot of the left post as he looked at it from the edge of the area.
Yeah, it's good play from, he wants it more than Brennan Johnson on the edge, and he's unlucky. Comes in on his left foot, tries to whip it into that far corner. Really unlucky. I can guarantee you now, John, everyone on this pitch, Brennan Johnson's probably had the least touches. He needs to get involved. I know he wants to hold that position, but Forest need him. If you're not getting the ball, come and look for it.
Well, I think Nottingham Forest have done well to survive the first 13 minutes of the second half without conceding a second goal, and they're indebted to Keylor Navas for that excellent save from Bruno Fernandes, whose whipped shot. It would have been an excellent goal actually if Bruno Fernandes had scored it.
Yeah, fantastic save. It's going top corner, to be fair. It would have been a brilliant goal from Bruno Fernandes.
Yep. Keylor Navas. Dean Henderson on the injured list at the moment, although he wouldn't have been able to play against Manchester United, of course, on loan from them. Ball played in to the edge of the Forest area. Forest can't get out, and then Danilo hits a long pass that's too long, and Lindelof is underneath it and able to play it back to De Gea, who rather nimbly actually back pedals and volleys it away. But Forest with Felipe collected again on the halfway line. Freuler plays it to the far side. Half a shout for what might have been a foul out on the right flank on Nico Williams, and then eventually the ball bounces out of play for what is given as a Manchester United throw. Bruno Fernandes is complaining about something, but that's not a first.
Yeah, because he feels he's not allowed to get tackled. Oh my, he frustrates me. Watching him today, he moans at his teammates. He's a good player and he is a quality player, but what, you're not allowed to make a tackle on him?
Sounds like he's playing against you, Clinton.
Oh, he frustrates me though, John. He does frustrate me. He moans about every decision. He's a top player.
Top player, top moaner. Here's Sancho on the left-hand side, low into the edge of the area. Martial. Of course, I'm sure Bruno Fernandes would say that's because my standards are so high.
Yeah, I agree with that, but you're allowed to make a tackle on him.
Ball on the left-hand side again with Dalot. Crosses it. Blocked by Williams on the edge of the penalty area. This is all over on the far side in the Forest right back area, and it finds its way to Dalot, who's onside. Bruno Fernandes has another good goal, and this time diving down to his right. Keylor Navas makes the save, and a good one as well down at the foot of the post. I think that might have been creeping in.
Yeah, it was. That's what we want to see Bruno Fernandes doing, getting on the ball, showing his ability. It was good play from Sancho and Dalot on that left-hand side, and he nearly wrong foots Navas, but Keylor Navas makes another good save at his near post. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes, he's run the game, to be fair.
What's going to happen this corner? Is Christian Eriksen going to find space again? No, Brennan Johnson is on him this time. However, Bruno Fernandes plays it in actually to the 6-yard box. Keylor Navas comes and gets the punch on that. His saves are actually counting up, aren't they? From Navas in this game. Actually made a save in the build-up to the goal that was scored by Anthony in the first half, just beyond the half hour. But it's been almost all Manchester United in this second half.
Yeah, you're right. Forest are literally staying in this game at the moment because they're not getting forward. If you're Steve Cooper now, you probably look to your bench to make a few changes.
Forest again defending. Lodi beaten by Anthony. That was a free kick, according to, I think it was the assistant who gave it, so it's a free kick to Forest. And of course there'll be a question. There were doubts over Lodi and over Niakate, how fit they actually are. Probably one or two others as well. So Forest, with their options limited, Williams comes forward down the right-hand side. When Forest have been able to come forward, Williams has been a threat, the Welsh international, World Cup player. Now it's with McKenna on the left-hand side. McKenna playing instead of Worrell today, who's on the bench. And then it comes back to McKenna. And they will go back to Niakate, who's the middleman of the three. Felipe on the right-hand side. He's in possession now. He's carrying the ball forward, but he's overrun it. And he's been fortunate there to come out of the tackle with Casemiro with the ball, and then Eriksson puts in a challenge, but it bounced back to Felipe. He's still going, and now out on the right-hand side with Johnson, who gets it back from Felipe, and Johnson with the cross, deflected into the gloves of De Gea at the near post, who can overarm it out. And Forest are going to make a change.
I think double change. I think Sam Surridge and Mangala is going to come on.
Yeah, so a change up front and in the midfield as well.
When you look at them, John, you look at the bench and you're thinking, who's the guy who can come on and get you that goal? There's not many goals in this Forest team apart from Johnson.
Well, that's the nub of the problem, isn't it? Jesse Lingard's on the bench.
Yeah, against his old club. You never know, do you, John? He hasn't been playing though, has he?
It's just not happened, has it, this season? But against his old club, Forest defending again, and there's a foul 25 yards out. Free kick for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, just a little challenge, I think. Gibbs White and Fernandes just having a word together. I think Morgan Gibbs White is the embodiment on the field of what you've been saying off the field. I think Gibbs White is wound up by Bruno Fernandes' complaints. So the change hasn't been made yet. It's with the first substitution of the match. We've got just over 25 minutes to play. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1. This is the Premier League on the BBC, 5 Live and the World Service. Bruno Fernandes, who's already had a couple of very good efforts, will take this free kick, chips it into the area. Eriksson with a shot, saved by Navas, straight at him, but from close quarters. It bounced up for Eriksson, and the referee spotted an offside.
It's brilliant, to be fair. Bruno Fernandes and Eriksson on the same page, and Martial, I think, goes and gets in the way of Eriksson. He makes a good run in behind.
Okay, Freuler is going to be replaced by the Belgian international, Aurel Mangala, one of the many summer arrivals. He came from Germany, from Stuttgart last summer, and it is Tayo Awani who makes way, who I can see, in his body language, you can see what he's thinking. So many people who played football have been there, had the day when they've had the chances, and it just hasn't gone their way.
Yeah, he'll be frustrated, but he has to come again. They've still got games to keep them up in the Premier League this season.
So Surridge is on, and here he is into the action, and Harry Maguire challenges him from behind, went to ground. It was a clumsy challenge, and it's a free kick.
It's because he can't get there. He's not quick enough, Harry Maguire. When anyone shifts the ball, he reads the game ever so well, but when you shift the ball and get him behind him, he lacks that pace.
So Sam Surridge is on, who scored just the one Premier League goal this season against Bournemouth in January, 3 in all competitions. And Wout Weghorst is being sent out to warm up by Erik ten Hag. Free kick for Forest. Well, they've barely been in the Manchester United half. All of those thousands of people in the 2 tiers of the Trent stand to our left, they've had to watch the action away in the distance at the other end of the ground. They need, if they can, to take advantage of opportunities like this. Gibbs White chips the free kick into the box. It's glanced on off the Forest head all the way through for a goal kick, and it's come to nothing, and the Trent end remains flat.
You know what they do, John? Stay in the game. That's what they...
Oh, De Gea clears the ball out right through the middle and gives it away. It was blocked by Danilo. Now Gibbs White, but in comes Casemiro with a challenge. In slides Mangala, the substitute. Felipe has gone through another couple of challenges and come out with the ball again. And now it's worked to the left-hand side, and Lodi with the cross. De Gea comes and he catches it, Pat Jennings style.
You sound surprised because he usually punches it, John. That's what he usually does.
He did, stretched his arms and plucked it out of the sky. And then coming forward, Jadon Sancho is impeded by Nico Williams. That's a foul. It's a free kick, and it's a yellow card for Nico Williams as well for that.
Yeah, second half, Jadon Sancho's got the better of him. First half, Williams, I thought, defended him well. But now Sancho, that's what you see him, taking him on and using your pace and your skill. And Nico Williams has to foul him.
So a free kick for Manchester United. So the period that Nottingham Forest had the ball down in the Manchester United defensive third has not lasted long. And again, they now have got to stand up to a set piece for Manchester United from the left-hand side that Fernandes will look to play in, one foot in front of the other, and then in it comes, cleared away, volleyed away by a leaping Felipe, headed forward by Johnson. Comes back to Eriksson on the halfway line, and Eriksson for Manchester United, and Fernandes across the centre of the field. Surridge threw himself at it, but got a tiny touch on it, couldn't stop it from reaching Maguire. And now Anthony, the goal scorer, just the one goal so far. Another tight match here at the City Ground. Anthony takes on Lodi, bounces out of play despite the urgings of the supporters in the stand to our right. It's a throw-in to Manchester United that Maguire takes back to Lindelof. Lindelof shuffles it forward, then pulls it back onto his right foot. Manchester United controlling possession, having more of the game, spending more of the half in Nottingham Forest territory, but not able to find a way through for the second goal that I think would win them the game, would give them the 3 points.
They've had the chances, haven't they? Navas has made a couple of good saves in his second half.
He has. So now McKenna is going to play the ball back to that man, the goalkeeper, Navas, who turns it onto his left foot away from Martial. Martial then watches as Danilo plays it to the right hand side to Williams, and Morgan Gibbs-White wanted the pass there. I could see him through the middle, but Williams checked back, played it inside, and this is rather ponderous from Forest. Going to do well to find a way through Manchester United like this. Forward from McKenna, comes off Wan-Bissaka and then headed away by Lindelof, and then Martial in with a challenge with Niakate. The ball bounces out of play, which is given as a throw to Manchester United.
Yeah, it's got a bit scrappy, but that will suit Nottingham Forest. That will suit them. As I said, they just need one big chance. If you had said before, if you come and get a 1-1 here, they'll bite your hand off, and they're still in it.
Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton are standing by to take your calls on 606 on 5 Live, 08 085 909 693. You can text 85058, hashtag BBC 606. Manchester United, Lodi has gone down. Bruno Fernandes pulled it away from him, and Manchester United continue to come forward. Nottingham Forest, well, Lodi's got back to his feet as not sure what that is.
Is that fireworks?
Is it fireworks? Something's going bang out of the ground to our left, next to the River Trent. As the ball's cleared away by Felipe over the halfway line. Lodi, who was doubtful for this match with a knock, missed the game at Villa. Still those bangs are going off at the minute. It is outside the ground.
Yeah, it's got to be.
But wherever they are, it's not far outside the ground. To throw in near the halfway line for Manchester United. We've got 20 minutes to play. Wout Weghorst is going to come on as a substitute for the third consecutive match after starting his first 19, more recently being used as a substitute. Of course, Martial coming back from injury. Martial, who was involved in the goal.
It'll probably be for him because they'll want Martial for the midweek game as well.
With no Rashford, almost certainly. Here's Wan-Bissaka in an advanced position, plays it out to Casemiro, who's on the right. Casemiro's ball in, a header from Martial is wide from 6 yards. Wide of the post.
He has to score. He sees it right onto his head. That could be his last bit of action as well. And Weghorst, the probably man who was coming on for him, probably would have scored that because that is what he's all about. But Martial, I think he's had another good game though, John, but he'd be disappointed. That's the one chance he's been waiting all afternoon, and he has to score.
Well, he's played a little longer in this match. 20 minutes to go, so he's played 70 minutes, played around about 60 minutes on Thursday night. They're being very careful with him, and he's being very careful in the way that he walks off the pitch as well. He's in no hurry, as befits a team who are 1-0 up away from home. Wout Weghorst gets a pat on the backside, and eventually he's made the long journey, he's reached his destination, and he's managed to cross the white line.
Tired, it took him a bit of time.
Promising signs from him these last couple of games.
No, it is. He could have rounded off a good performance if he had scored that header. I think he's worked hard, but he'd be disappointed he's not took that goal.
Yep, but the key moment, winning the ball back from Danilo. Fernandez played it through to Martial, his shot saved.
And Anthony has a tap in, so big assist in the game.
So Wout Weghorst, I asked you what you thought about Harry Maguire, where he might be next season.
He won't be here. And I'll just be honest with you, he won't be here. He was a stopgap for the time being. They'll go and get an unbelievable number 9.
Yeah, and he might be back at Burnley in the Premier League.
You never know.
His parent club.
Yep.
We'll see. Still yet to score his first goal in the Premier League, Wout Weghorst for Manchester United. Here's Williams bringing it forward for Forest. Surging run into the area. Plays it across. There's no one at the back post. It took a double deflection, actually. Manchester United, who scored 2 own goals on Thursday night, very nearly got another one here.
Yeah, it's a great run from Williams. No one goes near him. They just let him run and run and run. It takes a deflection, I think, off Dalot, and it just goes across that 6-yard box. Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, they didn't want to stick their foot out because it could have been an own goal.
It's a corner. It's a corner that Gibbs-White is going to take. Just seeing a replay, it came off Lindelof, very nearly hit Maguire if he'd scored another own goal. Gibbs-White with the corner into the near post. De Gea came for it. There were all manner of bodies in there, and it was a Nottingham Forest head. I think it was Felipe. Yeah, it was Felipe who was almost underneath the crossbar, but headed it over the top. And he slaps the post as he walks past it.
Because you know what? He makes a good run, but you know what? It gets too much on it. You just want a little glance, and then it can flick in because you're literally a yard out. But it gets too much of a big glance, and that's why it goes over the bar.
Do you know, he's the big Brazilian. He's had one of those games, hasn't he? Where it wouldn't surprise me.
He scores.
Something.
Yeah, something happens. I know what you mean. Yeah.
But Manchester United still controlling things, even though there is only one goal. Sancho groans because the ball was lost by Mangala, and now Fernandez. There might be space here for Manchester United. To Anthony it goes, right side of the area, plays it across. Keylor Navas went down for the hand to it, could have gone anywhere. Fortunately for Forest, it went to the feet of Niakate, who was able to clear it away downfield, where Manchester United will play it back to De Gea, who chips it out to the far side. It's asking a little bit of Dalot, but he's able to control it. Plays it back to De Gea, who passes it out unconvincingly, out of play for a throw to Forest.
Yeah, it's not his strong point playing out from the back, David De Gea, but another good save from Navas, another good touch from Navas at the other end. Good play again from Anthony, but Navas has kept Forest in it. I think he's been outstanding.
Yeah, he has. David De Gea just leans over and adjusts the tops of his socks. A little bit of an uncomfortable moment. Made some very important saves against Sevilla the other night, but couldn't do anything about the own goals, one of which hit him off Malacia and went in. Long throw for Forest into the Manchester United penalty area, but it's clear. Felipe peeks the ball forward, which is caught on the shins by Lodi, almost caught him LBW. Surridge playing the ball down the left-hand side to Gibbs-White, whose attempted cross is deflected actually all the way back to the halfway line. Forest have got to start again, but there are one or two for Forest. If you're a Nottingham Forest fan, just one or two promising signs that there might be a rousing finish in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, there could be, because obviously Man United haven't scored that second goal, and you think you're throwing more bodies and more attacking players, because they haven't. But Navas has made good saves. He's kept Forest in this game.
So Weghorst is challenged by Felipe. The ball runs to Anthony. Anthony with his tricks against Felipe, but Felipe just stands up as Anthony plays it past him, and Forest are able to clear it away to the halfway line. But Maguire as well steps away with it from Surridge, and Manchester United back in field towards Eriksson.
You know what it is, John? Forest do so much work when they don't have the ball that when they do it, they don't have enough runners when they win it back.
And so Manchester United with Fernandez, who's been excellent, it must be said, gives it to Anthony. Anthony running towards the edge of the area, skips away from the challenge, plays it through the middle. There's the chance. Dalot from left back, arriving in the penalty area to win the match for Manchester United. 2-0 now. That's Forest finished in this game, and Manchester United can celebrate. Forest 0, Manchester United 2.
Yeah, brilliant again from Anthony. It's magnificent from Anthony. We said about him, John, no assist this season. Well, that's his first assist this season because it's fantastic. The way he cuts inside and the run from Dalot from fullback's brilliant. He just plays a great reverse ball. And once Dalot's in there, it was always going to be one outcome. Great finish into that far corner.
So 77 minutes on the clock. Diogo Dalot, a rare goal for him, only the third one that he scored for Manchester United. But as Clinton Morrison said, Anthony with a goal and an assist after everything we were saying about him, Clinton.
Yeah,
no end product.
Listen, he stepped up, hasn't he, John? And that's what you want. That's what you want. That's what we're here to do. We're here to scrutinise players and if they're not doing it. But he's done it today. He's been outstanding. The reverse ball is magnificent. 3 or 4 players are looking the other way, and it's a great pass from Anthony. Brilliant.
Cutting in from the left-hand side. He danced through a challenge. It was Felipe actually on the edge of the area and just slipped it through the middle. And then Dalot, give him credit as well, popping up the full-back in the penalty area. He was on his right foot, his favoured right foot, and he tucked it away very nicely. Right at the end where all of the Manchester United fans are, they all celebrated together. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2, and it looks very much with this scoreline that Manchester United will be going up above Newcastle in the table into third place, taking advantage of the slips by Newcastle and Tottenham either side of them in the table. Here's Anthony again on the right, left-footed ball across the box, but this one was read by Niakate for Forest, who just blasted the ball out of play into the Peter Staler stand down to our right. So yes, as Fred is going to come on now for Christian Eriksen, who wasn't due to start the game, was only hurriedly prepared because Sabitzer pulled out with an injury. Christian Eriksen, who himself, of course, has only just come back from injury, having come on as a substitute in the last couple of matches. This is his first start since the ankle injury that he suffered, that actually was feared might see him out for the rest of the season at the time. But off he comes. I can understand that one.
Yeah, he gets the minutes in, and that's what you want, because they got a big game in Seville, and I think he'll start in Seville. In particular with Bruno suspended and now Sabitzer picking up an injury. It's got a great opportunity, but yeah, he's had a good 77 minutes.
So Manchester United 2-0 up. On the subject of suspensions, I noticed that actually the FA Cup semi-final, which you'll hear on 5 Live, both of them next weekend, the Manchester United Brighton game, Harry Maguire is suspended for that match.
Oh,
having accumulated yellow cards.
Well, they'll need Luke Shaw back as soon as possible.
Yeah, and so maybe that's why he was not involved at all today. Forest going to make another change. Emmanuel Dennis is going to come on, but I think the game has gone, this one, for Nottingham Forest, and it's going to be 10 matches in a row without defeat. They are one of the few clubs in the bottom half of the table who have not yet changed their manager this season. What the position with Steve Cooper, Clinton, A, is it too late? And B, is he a manager that you don't want to get rid of, you want to keep?
Yeah, I think it's too late, and I think, yeah, B, you're right. I don't think you want to get rid of him. I think you stick with him. Whatever happens, you stick with him at his football club. Let me tell you, if you get rid of him, there'll be a lot of other clubs queuing up for Steve Cooper, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, thanks for answering those questions in order.
No worries.
A followed by B. 2-0 to Manchester United. This is 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. It's rather flat in the home sections. That's not the case in the Manchester United supporters area. There's one of those red, white and black Manchester United flags being waved in there. And Dennis is going to come on to replace Scott McKenna. So central defender off. Emmanuel Dennis coming on up front to join Johnson and Surridge. Gibbs White as well. So even though they're 2-0 down in this match, Steve Cooper probably rightly thinking that the message is, we're not giving up anything.
Yeah, we're not giving up. It's not rolling over. Can we get a goal in the next couple of minutes and make a game of it?
Goal difference might be a factor as well to think about. And Manchester United with Sancho and Fred, who's just come on. Fred now on the edge of the area, left-footed ball across the box is chested back by Lodi to goalkeeper Keylor Navas. So Emmanuel Dennis coming on, the number 25, and 2-0 Manchester United lead. 6:06 on 5 Live, the phone in, the lines are open, 08 085 909 693, to talk to Chris Sutton and to Robbie Savage about the weekend's football. Certainly if you're a West Ham fan, if you're an Arsenal supporter, you'll want to speak to them about the earlier events. If you haven't heard, if you've been out and about today, the crucial moment really when Bukayo Saka missed from the penalty spot and then Jared Bowen making it 2-2. Arsenal led 2-0 in that match. Celtic 4-1 winners at Kilmarnock, so they need 7 points to be confirmed as the champions. Chelsea are through to the Women's FA Cup final, and David De Gea clearing the ball away from the edge of his own penalty area. Wout Weghorst and Nia Kate are tangling together. Bounces through to Anthony. Suspect he'll be the star man, the player of the match after his contribution. Anthony taking it forward and having his heels clipped by Mangala, then taking a quick free kick, but referee Hooper says no, I'm going to bring it back. And actually Keylor Navas dived feet first in on Sancho.
Yeah, he said he's taken everything, didn't he, John?
Unfortunately, Sancho jumped out of the way, and while all that was happening, I think that was a yellow card that was shown. It was to Mangala for his conceding of the free kick. So 2-0, as I mentioned. I think it's already up, but if Manchester United get another one, then that's definitely it. And I think some Forest fans have decided likewise. 1 or 2 now.
Beat the traffic.
Yeah, with 6 minutes to go. It can be tricky to get away from if you've got your car close to the city ground, as you well know, Clinton.
Definitely.
Or indeed get to, sometimes. Not today, though, for some people.
Yes.
Managed okay.
Yeah, managed okay. Smooth drive in.
But free kick to Manchester United that Casemiro's having a look at. Fred as well. Bruno Fernandes, who will have a rare rest on Thursday. Bruno Fernandes takes it. Oh, and that was not too far away from the top right corner. And he holds his hands up to his face, which suggests that it was close.
Yeah, it's brilliant technique, about 25-30 yards out. It's brilliant from Bruno Fernandes, and I know why he's frustrated, because he wants this goal. Like every player wants a goal, but he's really unlucky.
Yeah, he's 1 away from his 100th career league goal as well. So 2-0 Manchester United lead. Felipe turns and plays the ball back to Keylor Navas, who clears. And Bruno Fernandes has started the last 24 Manchester United games in all competitions, but won't be able to play in Seville. Fred does well against Gibbs White inside his own half, passes it forward towards Bruno Fernandes. Now Anthony joins in the attack. Anthony then back to Bruno Fernandes, who tried to turn it across. It's blocked by Nia Kate, bounces down into the full-back position near the corner flag, still in play. Nia Kate tries to play it off Bruno Fernandes, and then it's passed forwards from the back. Surridge dives in, actually caught Wan-Bissaka, but he's okay, so Manchester United play on. Anthony uses Bruno Fernandes to his right. 6 minutes to play here in Nottingham, with the sun trying to come out. Bruno Fernandes stabs it forward, hooked away though towards the halfway line by Danilo. Manchester United now on the back foot as a challenge on Emmanuel Dennis results in a free kick near the halfway line. So a free kick to Nottingham Forest. So up they go. Felipe from the back in front of 29,435 people on a Sunday afternoon at the City Ground. Manchester United have got everyone back for the defending of this set piece, but they've got the 2-goal cushion. Free kick to be hit forward by Lodi. Long up to the edge of the area. Maguire got his head to it to nod it away. Williams turns, the ball bounces away. Casemiro, it was a 50-50, and he had to time that right. Williams on a yellow card, but he did. Out of play, off Casemiro for a throw to Forest. Williams gets it back with his feet, does well. Left-footed ball with a cross, headed away by Maguire on the edge of the 6-yard area. And it's chested down by Weghorst and played forward to Anthony. And Anthony now sprinting away from Dennis, but cut back. Whether Dennis got a touch on that or not, Anthony goes to ground. Dennis comes out with the ball. Anthony's left on his knees. Gibbs White now takes it up for Forest. Surridge in front of him. Ball to the edge of the penalty area. Oh, and it all breaks down with Felipe on the edge of the box. And Manchester United actually Mangala wanted a free kick. That's not given. Lindelof will bring it
wide
forward.
open. It's like a basketball, one way, one end to the other.
Yeah, Forest are looking for this goal, but they're open at the back now, and Sancho into the area on his right foot. Wild shot, wide and high across the face of goal, and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a great chance. At the other end, Forest had 4-on-4. It's just Felipe couldn't sort out his feet, and then they break, and Sancho should be doing better. Once he comes inside, you're thinking he's just going to bend it into that far corner, gets it horribly wrong, and goes over the bar.
A couple of important headers in there from Harry Maguire as well.
Very good.
You know,
important.
That's where he likes it.
Yeah, that's where he likes
That's
it.
his
Anything
strength.
in front where he can see, very strong in there.
And if the score stays the same, incidentally, as Surridge handballs it, it's a free kick to Manchester United. If the score stays the same, you know, as you mentioned, Maguire's made relatively few starts in the Premier League this season.
Yep.
This only his 7th start in the Premier League. It would mean that for his last 5 Premier League starts, Manchester United would have won with a clean sheet. Here's Gibbs White leaving the field now, and he's replaced by Jesse Lingard, who's coming on against his former club for the last 3 minutes of the match, having not been involved in the last 4 games for Nottingham Forest. So Steve Cooper is just saying, you know, get on the field and see if you can do something for us, but you know, a nice gesture, because he'll have wanted to play today, wouldn't
Definitely, against his old club, without a shadow of a doubt.
So Gibbs White has not been able to have the influence that he would have liked.
I just feel with him, he's got so much ability, but he just needs a goal. We talk about everything he has got, it's just the goals he needs.
Handball by Weghorst near the halfway line. So Jesse Lingard is on now, the number 11, after 22 years as a Manchester United player from the academy. Free kick for Forest with just 2 minutes to go here of the 90, and Forest setting their sights on just getting a goal in this match. That's what they're looking for. Lodi swings it left-footed into the penalty area, headed away by Manchester United, cleared away by Sancho on the edge of the area. Comes out for the pass for Dennis to chase, but he can't reach that from the forward pass that came from centre field from Danilo, and it's all the way through for a goal kick, and Fred's hanging on to the ball, and Dennis doesn't like that, and then Dennis ridiculously, really, I mean, you know, he's let himself get involved in that, Dennis, and then he went clawing his arms at Fred, who didn't react but could have done. And it's a free kick, it's a goal kick for Manchester United.
Yeah, he's frustrated, isn't he? He doesn't need to get involved. You don't want to get a silly booking or a red card.
Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2. On 5 Live, Steve Crossman will round everything up for you, then it'll be over to 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. You can book your call on 08 085 909 693. Read all about the day's action on the football pages of the BBC Sport website and app. As Manchester United play the ball back to Lindelof. And then Match of the Day 2 on BBC One and on the iPlayer anytime tonight. 5 Live Football Daily in the morning on BBC Sounds. Forest playing the ball in from the right hand side, but Lindelof is underneath that and clears it out into the lower tier of the Brian Clough stand. And on Sounds as well, the latest on Manchester United's sale, in inverted commas, if it is going to be that, how to buy a football club, well worth listening to. It's been constantly updated. And also Jermaine Defoe's new podcast as well, you'll find on BBC Sounds. Throw in for Forest, a long throw looping into the near post. Maguire's there again with his head to nod it down and away. There'll be 4 minutes of added time as well on 606. During that, we'll have the live interviews for you with Eric Ten Hag and Steve Cooper, so listen out for that during the course of 606. Hear them live. If you don't, you can hear them on the Football Daily in the morning. Ball's out and behind for a goal kick to Manchester United, and in the circumstances, good win for Manchester United.
Yeah, professional, because everyone thought this could be a little, you know, with the injuries they've got to the key players, but I think players that have come in have done well. You first thought after the first 10 minutes when Maguire gets booked, could be an uneasy afternoon for him, but I think him and Lindelof, who have come in, have defended really well.
Tough games in the next week.
Yep.
I think they'll do well to get through against Sevilla, even though they're struggling on the home front.
I still feel they can go there and win the game, but I do feel Seville can cause them a lot of problems. I thought that Seville defending the other day were poor.
Long throw for Manchester United into the area. Sancho tries to set it up, for the arriving Weghorst, but the cover was there from Danilo to put it behind for a corner late on in the game, in added time.
And let me tell you this, John, don't be surprised if Rashford and Luke Shaw are fit for that game. Do not be surprised.
He did say on Thursday that he had a chance.
There you go.
Rashford.
So maybe both of them could be fit for Thursday.
Corner taken short by Manchester United, then angled into the area. Dalot is there. He's not after a second goal, is he? Left-footed, he plays it across. Controlled by Anthony. Anthony curls it, and it hits
Wan-Bissaka.
And bounces well by his teammate. And on the subject of Sevilla, they've got a big game tonight against Valencia in La Liga, who are in the bottom three, Valencia, and Sevilla just above the bottom three. So big game for them as well. And then next weekend, both FA Cup semi-finals you'll hear on 5 Live. And as Wan-Bissaka's attempt to get into the area is blocked and cleared by Niakate. And then headed forward again by Danilo. Fred gets underneath it, hooked away by Danilo to the halfway line for Nottingham Forest. Casemiro jumping for it, then volleying it forward. Up it goes towards Weghorst, who's tangling with Niakate. Now arms were flailing there, and Niakate went down holding his face. The yellow card is quickly out from referee Hooper. Yellow card for Weghorst.
Yeah, because he kind of like threw something at him. So Navas wants a piece of him as well. He's not happy. Right. Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he
wants his feet chasing after him.
Yeah, he does. So
Andre Niakate.
Yeah,
Killer Navas has got involved.
That's
as well,
what I mean. Navas wants a piece. He's not happy.
Yeah, and then Niakate walks to Weghorst. You know, the two of them were sort of twisting and tussling together. Arms were flying, and as we see it again. Oh, now then, that looked like a little punch.
That's what I'm saying, so I'm surprised. A little punch, yeah, look.
Oh,
a little
slap.
There was a little slap and a punch, yeah.
Slap, not slap and tickle, slap and punch.
Slap and punch, that's right.
2 minutes to play. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2. Navas, long to the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, headed away by Maguire. They'll want this clean sheet, Manchester United. Maguire, he'll be well aware of the recent form, and then headed away by Dalot. And it's a kind of makeshift defence this, with Dalot at left back. Although he's well capable of playing there and scoring actually from that position, but Lindelof and Maguire back together. They'll have enjoyed it if they can keep a clean sheet. Another clean sheet as Sancho plays it infield. Fred, crossfield pass, but up steps Lodi, and with his right foot passes it over the halfway line to Surridge, and then back to Dennis. And then Dennis's pass is asking too much of Jesse Lingard. He won't reach that. And Manchester United can bring it away with Anthony. And then Anthony to Casemiro. Class from Casemiro. Just simple.
Simple but basic, but looks really good.
Yeah, just took it in his stride. And that's it. There we are. There's the final whistle. Applause from the Manchester United supporters in the Bridgeford stand to our right. Disappointment for Nottingham Forest. There were hopes that they might have caught Manchester United at the right time today with their injuries, but Manchester United were on it, and Anthony was their star man. Scored in the first half and set up Dalot in the second for a 2-0 win.
Yeah, we said we wanted more goals and assists out of him, and he produced. Yeah, I think he was the difference between the two teams. And listen, the whole Man United team played well. They were comfortable. I think they were in second or third gear. A bit disappointing for Forest. You're thinking at home, give the fans something to cheer about, but professional performance from Man United and thoroughly deserved the 3 points.
Yeah, I'm afraid for Nottingham Forest it's 10 matches in a row now without a win, a third loss in a row in the Premier League for them. They stay in the bottom three with 7 matches left to play, but Manchester United hop above Newcastle in the table, and that's 4 wins out of 4 against Nottingham Forest this season. Yep. 2 in the league, 2 in the League Cup, and they haven't conceded a goal. And overall Forest, Clinton, I mean, can you point the finger today?
Not really. Listen, they lack the quality in the final third, but we've been saying that about Forest all season. If Johnson doesn't score the goals, who's going to step up? Awoniyi's had 2 golden opportunities, and they're the chances that you don't get a lot of them in the Premier League when you're playing against top sides. That's where you have to be a bit ruthless. So that's the only disappointing, I think, from Steve Cooper's team, because you're never going to out football Man United, because you just haven't got the players that can compete with the Man United players.
Clinton Morrison, thank you very much. Thanks, Steve John. Cooper walks off the field. Eric Ten Hag as well. It's Seville next. 5 Live will be there with them. Listen to that live from Seville on Thursday night as they try to get through in the Europa League. But they've finished off for the time being in the Premier League with a win here. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2.
And Clinton, there's a lot of boxes been ticked by Manchester United this afternoon, isn't there? Goal and assist from Anthony after he got a bit of a rocket, shown they can win without players like Martinez, and Christian Eriksen back into the team and playing well.
Yeah, you can only beat what's in front of you. Listen, they'll have a lot of harder tests coming up, Man United. I'm telling you that for sure. And that defence will get tested. But as I said, Harry Maguire gets booked early and he's probably thinking could be a long afternoon for him. But I think him and Lindelof come in, defended well. Dalot did well at left back. Wan-Bissaka's been brilliant, I think, for majority of the season playing at right back. I think he's made that position his own. But yeah, you're right. It's all about Anthony, because we wanted a performance from him and he delivered. And you can see he's got so much confidence in himself. The only disappointment is Bruno didn't score, because you can see by his body language he was desperate to put the ball in the net.
Harry Maguire just leaving the field now, Steve. So that's his last 5 Premier League starts now. Harry Maguire with Manchester United. They've won the match and kept the clean sheet.
And it's a massive step towards a top 4 finish, that, isn't it, Clinton?
Yeah, definitely. With the results that went yesterday, Newcastle not losing and Tottenham losing. I mean, Newcastle losing and Tottenham losing. Yeah, it's massive, to be fair. They've still got a lot of big games, and yeah, the injury list is not looking good. Losing Sabitzer as well in the warm-up, but they've got a squad, and that's why you have a squad at Man United, and they deliver. They've still got top players that can come back into this team and help it as well. So for me, I was never worried about them finishing in the top 4. I think Man United will finish in the top 4 easily.